Hello, welcome to Dungeons Podcast. I'm your host Justin. Today we're reviewing what was supposed to be like a kung fu movie, but turned out to be something completely different. The Legend of the Seven Golden Vampires, which is a 1974 horror martial arts film. It's an hour and 23 minutes, and it's a movie that was a joint venture between Studios Hammer Films, the famous British horror film company, and Shaw Brothers Films, the Hong Kong movie studio that mostly focus on wuxia / martial arts films. So they have put out some comedies, right? So the movie was directed by Roy Ward Baker and Chang, who Chang, I think he did the heroic ones. No, let me check. Oh, he did 5 Deadly Venoms and One Armed Swordsman, which we reviewed 5 Deadly Venoms on this channel. The movie stars Peter Cushing returning as his role as Abraham Van Helsing, which he was in he was in the Dracula films with what's his name? Lee something. Oh shit, let me look it up. Alright, he was in the Dracula films with Christopher Lee, which the first one was horror Dracula if I'm not mistaken. Though Dracula is in this movie, he's not played by Christopher Lee, unfortunately. He's played by John Forbes Robertson, who strange, his voice sounds a lot like John Hurt, so it was like every time he opened his mouth, I'm like, did John Hurt dub over him? And the other actors in the film are David Chiang as Chang. I can't pronounce that surname. It's like HSI. You got Julie Edge as Vanessa Burden, who's a Swedish actress who was in a lot of let's say I'll read some of her she was in a movie called Rent-A-Dick, which, despite the very pornographic poster, is not apparently a porn film. It's like a comedy about a detective agency. And she was a model, and she appeared in British films in the 1960s and 70s. You got Robin Stewart as Leyland Van Helsing, who's the son of Abraham Van Helsing. You got Shi Su as Mei Kuai. So what the film is about? It's about how in China there's these 7 golden vampires who are under the command of this necromancer, sorcerer, who one of his golden vampires, which are these zombie golden masked vampires with these gold bat medallions. One of them was killed by a farmer in this village that they were terrorizing. So the necromancer journeys to Europe to find Count Dracula to help him resurrect the 7th golden vampire, who Dracula then possesses him and returns to China. While back in China, Peter Cushing is at a university giving a lecture on vampires. He gets pretty much laughed out of the room. He was trying to find locals to help him research vampires in China and Asia, but after that he leaves, but meets while at home, somebody breaks in his room, and it's Chang, who is this guy from the village that was mentioned in the 7 Golden Vampire story, which Peter Cushing's character was recounting to the at the university. Chang tries to get Abraham Van Helsing to go on a journey with him back to his village to help him defeat the 6 remaining golden vampires. While that's going on, Wayland Van Helsing is at a party, meets the beautiful Vanessa Burden, who is like a Scandinavian heiress who is vacationing in the Orient, right? Who refuses a walk home from this Chinese triad guy, like mob boss, who attacks her and Wayland Van Helsing while he was like walking her home, and she's also a fan of Abraham Van Helsing. She wants to meet Abraham Van Helsing. While they're under attack, a bunch of martial artists, including Wimp Lo from Kung Pao, is in this movie. Which, that Kung Pao used footage from an old kung fu movie, so like Wimp Lo is like the archer in the movie. I think that's his name. They get saved by these kung fu martial artists. One guy with 2 axes, one guy with a bow and arrow. You have these 2 twins with silver swords, and they're with Chang, right? So after that, they meet up with Peter Cushing, and Peter Cushing agrees to go with them to their village, right? While they go on their journey, Vanessa Burden goes with them, right? And you get these really cool martial arts fight scenes where our characters have to defend themselves from bandits, a zombie army led by the golden vampires, and they eventually have the two final fight scenes in the movie where they have this one big climatic fight scene at their village where they set up stakes, and they set up this trench that they lit on fire, where one of the female characters gets bitten by a vampire, and her love interest in the movie kills her and then kills himself using the same stake, which is something which sounds dumb, but if you've seen Shaw Brother movies, it happens where characters will will feel so guilty about something or whatever, and then they'll kill themselves, right? The one of the main characters in Two Champions of Shaolin, who infiltrated this the Wu Dan or whatever, so he can help his Shaolin brothers take back the country from the whatever people, the Manchurians or whatever, so they can get the other people back in charge. Just watch my Two Champions of Shaolin review for that. So yeah, after that, a bunch of our characters get killed, but they take out the golden vampires, and you have a final fight scene between Peter Cushing and Dracula, which did not last very long. Despite Peter Cushing's character being exhausted from fighting kung fu vampires, he was able to pretty much one-shot Dracula, and then the movie just ends, just like with Hammer films and Shaw Brothers films. So yeah, I generally don't review Hammer films, because I do enjoy them, but it's the thing where I'm not an expert, so it's I don't want to tell people what are good and what are bad Hammer films, because honestly Hammer films to me are it's like a desired taste. You either like it or you don't like it, right? But I do love Shaw Brothers films, so I would say the action scenes are pretty cool. There's nudity in the movie, which I thought would have gone against Hong Kong, censorship laws in China or whatever. But I guess because the movie also it was a co-production, probably also getting released in Britain. That's how they got away with the nudity, even though I've seen a couple Hammer films. I've never seen them have nudity. They'll have scantily clad women, but no nudity. But I don't know. And there's like the gore, this movie is pretty much the same as in like Shaw Brother films, where it's just the paint comes off as just like red paint, and the weapons look kind of fake as hell, and the special effects makeup in the movie was kind of bad, and like how the stunt actors in the movie did their stunts without like hurting each other, I don't know, because like they have like these tiny eye holes for their masks, so that their vision must have been pretty limited. But overall, I did enjoy the film, and I'm giving it like a 7 out of 10. I think if you're a fan of both Shaw Brothers films and Hammer horror, you'll probably enjoy this movie. Alright guys, peace.